Oh man, I thought I recorded that. I was doing some pretty cool stuff there. Yeah, I told him that everyone was asking about him, and
I was.
I did
Talking
not.
about Salty, where is that damn Salty kid?
That is him.
Salty is the
Stuff.
saltiest.
Stuff, and I also happen to be have gotten a Mass Effect Legendary Edition recently.
Scruffy got a little. We got a little worried. We thought maybe you failed your test and you got depressed or something. I'm like, I don't think he would do that. Or
No.
I mean, not the depression part, but I mean the being hard on yourself part. I'm like, I don't think he would do that bad. Like you were gone for so long that some of us were starting to speculate.
I don't know. He's
It
probably
was the
fucked over
weirdest.
himself in school or something.
No.
That was me with the
I was.
education thing.
I happen to have
He
gotten.
showed up
I
with a
may or may
machine
not have
gun.
gotten it. I may or may not have gotten addicted to Mass Effect.
Yeah,
That's
the first
fair
ones
enough.
are good, but the last one wasn't.
Yeah.
Andromeda. Well, yeah.
Well, I was
Hopefully,
talking about Mass Effect. I was thinking about Mass Effect 3, but Andromeda doesn't even count, really.
No, not really. Legendary Edition only has 1 through 3.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah, the Legendary Edition kind of ruins some of it, too.
I've got it.
Because, like, there's a mod for the first game on PC that keeps it the same game, but just adds in a lot of textures and stuff. But the Legendary Edition, I'm probably remembering wrong, but there's something about it that kind of messes with the game and how it works and the colors. And it just doesn't, I think they modified some of the stuff in the game and how it balanced. I think, or how it works. Dang it, I don't remember anymore. I'll have to look it up again.
They made some changes for balance reasons.
Yeah, but it was fine the way it was, really. That's part of what, like, Mass Effect 1, I played the shit out of it. I beat it in all difficulties multiple times. I did all kinds of different characters. Mass Effect 2 was alright. I mean, it didn't quite...
In Mass Effect 2, the Sentinel is the best class. I will die on that hill.
Hey, you talking about the magic guy, right?
No, Sentinel's the mix between Engineer and Biotic.
Oh yeah, I like that one. I like that one and Biotic. Biotic's a little harder at first, but you get really powerful later on. It pays itself off.
If you use Singularity with Warp.
But see, when you first start out as Biotic, you get screwed. But yeah, Sentinel was a good one. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, mainly because of the tech armor, especially in the IFF mission.
You can also mess with electronics, so that's a thing.
Yeah, in the mission where you go to get the Reaper IFF in Game 2, you want to be using Sentinel. Mainly because if you have it full spec and assault armor, if any husks break your shield, it'll kill all nearby husks. One shot, no matter the health.
AOE.
The second game.
I was already at the last part of the mission. Both my team members were down. They were just swarming around me, and I just basically went hit me, and then as they broke the shield, sequentially, all of them died immediately. And then I just went and destroyed the Mass Effect core.
I usually go for some heavier. I always play heavy.
I made so much money in that game.
Didn't we all? And I'm pretty sure we all did the Uranus Easter egg.
Uranus.
Dude, John, I had an M901 shoot a guided tow missile at me, and I shot the missile directly with the APDS FS.
APFSDS.
Whatever, and the tungsten round, and I shot his missile directly, right in front of me. He was point blank almost.
Somebody's breaking a keyboard.
Well, he did hit me with the second missile, but I still killed him by shooting him in the missile bay.
I don't know how many hours I dwelled in on fucking Mass Effect for PlayStation, man. 1 through 3.
Yeah.
Cause you know you can have your character, carry over, right?
You have to beat the game, though.
I've done it so many times. I've always carried my characters over from 1 to 2 to 3.
I liked 2, but it. I done forgot what I was gonna say. 2 was all right, but it had some
2 was a lot
interesting
of
changes.
2 had a
Such
lot
as?
of transition and shit like that. You know, on the move a lot.
You remember how in the first one, even if you were renegade, it was just a different way of getting the job done.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in 2, they kind of kept that, but it changed slightly. Where you start to look a little like, oh my, look at him, he's getting red marks and scars, he must be evil. And then the third one is just straight up you're evil. It's
Yep.
like, what the hell? It's over. Like it just. I don't like the third one. I think it doesn't exist. I don't count it because it's clearly there's something wrong with the development there.
Well,
Probably
third one is
rushed.
supposed to be
Well, considering that EA
semi-rushed.
had them under their thumb, yeah, I wouldn't doubt
It was
it.
semi-rushed, yes. Then y'all heard of the new the fucking Bethesda's fucking game, right?
Which one?
Which one? Starfield?
Yeah. Supposed to be like Fallout, but more spacey.
I guess it's Starfield. Then.
Yeah, it's start. Yeah.
I honestly don't know. I don't follow games and get hyped for them. I just wait and see what happens. So I just
I don't
pretend
get
they
no
don't
hype
exist
for
until all of
anything.
a sudden they
I
exist.
just think they're a bunch of fucking idiots. Dude,
Wow.
thought that. Come on, fucking follow the last Fallout game they put out. Complete fucking failure.
Well, there's a lot of reasons for that.
Hell,
But any-
some other people are taking some of the shit from that last one and putting into mods for fucking 4.
Imagine the Fallout and Elder Scrolls we would have had if like the actual dudes were able to keep working on it and Bethesda didn't freaking like open too many shops and almost go bankrupt. That kind of caused that cascade effect. Because they started spending too much money opening up too many different studios and subsidiaries. Then they had to close them all down. Which is something they started doing again recently. Some people began speculating that it might happen again.
That's fair.
Hello, Northern.
Oh, Nordic's here?
I'm sorry.
I know, it's daytime. He's actually here.
Oh my gosh.
Not like dead at night when people are trying to get off.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Alright, can you hear us?
Yes.
Because if you were talking, we couldn't hear you.
Oh, it's... Oh, I thought Kiri was here. Damn it.
Wrong person.
What the hell is he? He's supposed to be on today.
Yeah. Doing other things to your sister.
Oh, all right. I forgot they don't have holidays in Germany.
What's a holiday? Fish holiday.
What is this Memorial Day you're talking about?
What's the bug?
Uh,
9, we work.
Jesus. You're right. I need to work harder at working.
Work
Oh,
even
yeah.
harder.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. My bad.
This is not America.
Oh, yeah. My balls tickle.
Yo,
Okay. All right. Um, what the hell were we talking about? Mass Effect?
yeah.
Vaguely.
So yeah, there's definitely a shift between 1 and 2. 2, you got those reload keys. It's a little more. It's like it's kind of different, but 3 just went full in and just kind of went and then just kind of threw it. It's and like the whole thing. Like, come to find out, like all the stuff in Mass Effect 3 didn't even happen to begin with. It was all just a dream or some shit like
Well,
that.
no. That's
Yes,
not-
it was. Please
No.
tell me it's true.
No. Nine. Yeah.
Fuck you.
With the next Mass Effect game, BioWare has already dropped some lore about what happened.
Mass
Partic-
Effect should have ended after 3 in the first place.
Yeah,
This-
they're making another one.
They should have
Yeah,
just
they're
finished
just-
it with 2 at this point, because 3
They-
3 didn't even really happen at the end anyway.
Well, here's the thing. 3 actually did happen. BioWare dropped some lore recently.
I don't give a shit. BioWare was disbanded. There's not
Yeah.
even the real guys
Well, people were-
anymore.
Well, there's people developing the game. They've dropped some lore. Apparently, after the Battle for the Reapers, Earth became uninhabitable due to all the EZO.
Yeah, whatever. God. Go
And
on, I'm
That,
listening.
that's weird.
And for
Because
some reason, Shepard's alive.
Well, of course
depends
he's
on,
alive.
on the ending you get.
Yeah,
There's
but
3
all of
different
them are the
endings.
bad ending, though. All the
Unless you
endings
get
are
the
bad
best
except for that one particular one.
Where it's implied that you live.
Yeah, you get a breathing scene where he wakes up at the end.
Yeah, so apparently that might be the canon
There's-
ending.
There's
I honestly don't
actually-
care. It's like it's the same thing as someone being like, "Oh my God, Disney said that Palpatine actually survived and he didn't die," and I'm like, I don't care. That doesn't matter because that's Disney saying that, and we all know how that's working out.
Yeah.
So,
And I'm not even at the most like for example, you know Dragon Ball Z. You know they have that new shit. Dragon Ball has that new thing out, and he's like, "Oh my God, look, this is the real Dragon Ball, guys. Look, this is real." They're like real desperate to try and prove that it's actual Dragon Ball. Look at the Toriyama did this, you know. And then you look at it, and they're not even the same characters, and they look like they're teenagers, and you're like, "No, I think this doesn't exist as a like." Because see, before they came out with that, they were doing like a bunch of silly side things where they invented just new characters out of nowhere. Like, oh boy, Vegeta had a secret little brother and he knew about it the entire time. Like, no. Like, okay, that was a fun little thing that they did for a gag. Okay, whatever. One episode. Okay, that's funny. Now they're doing a whole series like that where they're doing fan fiction that I read as a kid, but worse. And then they're like, "Oh boy, it's made by the Toriyama," and it's like, no, it's made by that guy that did fan fiction I read as a kid that they hired on to make that series. And like, I don't mind them doing their thing, but don't sit there and try to bandwagon it. And they're like, "Oh my God, Goku can do this now," and I'm like, then what was the point of all the other stuff? And like, see, I know you probably haven't seen Dragon Ball Z. But the characters had like full arcs, all the way up to the Cell Saga. Past the Cell Saga, it starts getting wonky because they start switching up writers and shit. So some of the stuff becomes kind of meaningless to some degree, but some stuff is pretty still awesome. So toward the end of the series, Goku goes from Dragon Ball Z. From Dragon Ball to Dragon Ball Z, he becomes a little kid. He goes from being a little kid with that mindset to becoming a young adult with that mindset to becoming an adult that's a role model. And I mean that in the literal sense because I picked up on that when I was growing up and I watched the series a lot, even after I was 20. And you really do pick up on him becoming a better person, making better decisions as a role model. He becomes someone to try to
The older
inspire
he
towards a little bit.
gets, the smarter he becomes.
Well, yeah, he's also
All
been
the
through some
freaking-
shit because he
Yeah, all
never
the shit that he's been through.
truly killed anybody until the Namek saga, right? I know in Dragon Ball he got close to hurting someone, but that was it.
The original
Like a
series
few
Dragon
people.
Ball, he never killed anybody, but when it came to
Well,
the
Dragon
whole
Ball
thing
was
on
pretty much
Namek,
just a
it was
travel to the
different.
west series. Like they, you know,
Yeah,
that,
it was someone as a kid when he was traveling around.
yeah, because like the Journey to the West, Dragon Ball was almost a copy of that. Because Goku, the Monkey Boy, you know, the Monkey King.
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Z is when shit
Monkey
started
Lord.
getting real serious, like even more so than because Dragon Ball had its moments. If I'm not an expert on Dragon Ball, but I am an expert on Dragon Ball Z.
I trust it. You know a lot more about this than I do.
Yeah,
I know,
I've had all
Chris,
the stuff downloaded, and I spent years like studying it, like literally, on my own. Like this is like I didn't have internet back then, and I put together stuff throughout the series. So in Dragon Ball Z, I don't even remember what the fuck I was talking about, but Dragon Ball Z basically turns into, it's like a new chapter, and you really feel it. The reason why that you could feel it is because there's so much different stuff happening. The stakes are different. One of the first things that gets established in one of the first episodes is that something's not right. This dude shows up from outer space, and you're like, what the fuck's going on? And this farmer dude shoots a bullet, and the guy catches it in his hand and then flicks it back, and it like tears through him and the truck. Just a bullet, just a rifle bullet. And you're like, oh fuck. This is a whole new set of standards, because in Dragon Ball, like, you had stuff going on, but and this guy can fly. And so this is where the whole new set of standards start coming in, because characters start being able to learn different abilities and grow from that too.
I feel you.
So Dragon Ball, you learn that Dragon Ball Z, one of the first things you learn in like the first or second episode is, oh my gosh, he's got a brother. And it turns out that he's not a human with a monkey tail for some reason. He's actually from outer space. And that's his brother. So then you have this big struggle to deal with that situation. And then Goku teams up with his lifelong nemesis to try and do it. And he dies. Goku fucking dies. And then you're like, oh shit. But then he vanishes, and you're like, what? And then the nemesis guy's like, oh, Kami must have took him. You know, with that awesome voice he has. And then you're like, oh man, what's Kami? What the hell's going on? Or maybe you already, I don't remember if Kami was established in Dragon Ball. Probably not. Oh wait, actually Kami was actually. To some degree. Anyways, so what happens is you know, Goku's like, Krillin, my best friend, take care of my child. And then Piccolo's like, nope, that's my kid now. Piccolo's the villain that I mentioned. And they're like, uh-oh, what's he gonna do, eat him? And they can't do anything, because as far as Goku being dead, Piccolo, which is the guy's name, is the strongest person on the planet. Nobody can deal with him, so they have no choice but to accept him taking the guy's Goku's son. And what happens is you get this, what turns into a moment of like a lot of peril and uncertainty turns into a kind of a charming, because Piccolo, something happens. So he wants to train Gohan. That's Goku's son. He's like 5 years old. He wants to teach Gohan how to fight so that he can help, because there's something coming. Before Goku's brother dies, Raditz, he's actually one of the more interesting characters that a lot of people like to talk about. Also, the villain humor in Dragon Ball Z is pretty decent too, because he's like, why so blue, Green Man? You know, it's kind of funny. Anyways, so Raditz tells them that, oh, and my power level indicator thing on my head has a microphone, and I opened a channel to my my two teammates who are 1,000 times more powerful than me, and they heard everything you said about these magical balls that can grant any wish, and they're like, "Oh shit, we're fucked." And then he laughs and dies. So what happens to Goku? He winds up in the spirit realm, and Kami, the guardian of Earth, um, took him there. You know, like as he was about to die, to give special permission to save Earth because he knows what's up. And so there's just like this great guardian of heaven, and he pretty much makes judgments. So they convince him to let him travel down something called Snake Way, which is like 1,000-mile stretch or whatever. If you fall, you literally fall into hell. And Goku's like, "Oh, no problem. I'll just run all that way." And then he starts to
I actually
realize,
fell off once.
yeah. So he starts to realize, hell, I could just jump across some of this shit. But he starts to realize that he's getting tired, even though he's a spirit, because he thought, "Oh, it'll be easy. I won't have to eat. I'm dead already." No, there's actually a little more to it. But yeah, he does fall off once, and he gets caught in hell, and he finds a secret way out, but winds up back to where he started, because he. But that's another lesson about some shortcuts aren't worth taking. Anyways, so Goku winds up in Snake Way and learns new techniques from this spirit being. He's called a Supreme Kai, and he's got this tiny planet he's on, and it's actually kind of funny because he's got a car. There's no point having a car because the planet is so small. You can literally just walk across it in like 10 minutes or 5, like back to where you started. It's such a small ass planet. It's got one road going in a circle.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, I mean, circle isn't the diameter of the entire planet. It just goes straight, and that's it. So Goku picks up this technique, that teaches him the warning that King Kai gives us: you can't do this too much. If you do it by too much of a multiplayer, you'll just shred your body, and you'll either die or you'll become paralyzed, for the most part, for at least a while. And that comes into play later on, because one of the dudes that show up, the strongest one out of all of them, are the same race as Goku. All these guys are the same race as Goku. They're called Saiyans. And so Goku, in order to beat the guy, to boost his power level to match his or even greater, uses that forbidden amount and then some, just destroying his body, and it still wasn't enough. Anyways, back to the Piccolo guy teaching Gohan. So what happens is Piccolo starts to learn a little bit about compassion, because the big villain Piccolo, he wanted to take over the world, and Goku was the only thing stopping it. But now that Goku's out of the picture, there's a bigger problem to deal with, and he even Piccolo himself even made a joke about this. He's like, it's kind of funny and ironic that my greatest foe is now dead, and now I'm raising his son to be a fighter, and he might have to fight me someday, you know? So,
If you don't mind pausing for 1 second, something came up. I'll be back real quick.
okay. Ooh. Something's going on with the F8F Bearcat. One of its flap isn't going down. Maybe it's just a glitch on my end. So Nordic. Hey Nordic, you there?
Yeah, I was just doing something else because you were talking about something that was relevant.
So, you want to do SnowRunner in a minute?
Maybe.
I gotta relearn how to play the game, so I guess we'll just figure it out together. Yeah, because I'll get all. I've been waiting for you to, you know, I've been waiting around for 300 days and a half.
Attention to the map.
Damn it, that's a year. I wasn't even thinking about the exact. I was thinking 300. Oh my, that sounds like almost a year. And then I realized, wait, 350 days is a year. Shit. So yeah, after this match, I should have my tanks bombed achievement, and then I'll just get off for a little bit. So did you try out any more of the premium stuff today, Nordic, to see how it felt?
Yeah. I didn't. Either was something about either their loadouts just sucked, or the visual, like the way the plane looked, just was not appealing.
Like which loadout sucked to you?
It was like whatever the German plane and the Japanese plane. That was just like oh, you get like
Jimmy, quick.
one or two shots for ground targets or one or two shots for air targets. It's like, and that's all you get. Like, that's fucking pointless.
Well, what plane? Maybe it'd help if I looked at it.
The ones you were.
You talking about the G91?
G91 and the Japanese one's the Saber. Yeah, the loadouts that it showed was just like, oh, you can have 2 air target missiles and 2 ground target missiles, or one set of 1 or something else, or 50 cals or whatever. And I'm just like, well,
what about the
stupid?
Yeah, but those 250 cows don't really lose much from losing that anyway. Well, yeah, you don't really lose much with those 50 cows because they're still 50 cows. Just, but I found out that what I usually do is I sacrifice the 250 cows. To be honest with you, I don't really lose much because 50 cows you got to be real specific where you shoot anyway, even with 4 of them. So I've noticed that in a lot of planes, and 4 or 6 50 cows, it really is about the same amount of effectiveness because you still have to be accurate. But a lot of jets don't really have a lot of protection against that anyway. So as long as you get their pilot, you'll mostly be alright, or if you mostly tear off their wing. So to be honest with you, I used to be worried about that too, until I started, I haven't seen much of a difference because you still chip away at them because it overpins and all that, depending on the ammo round. But when you set a jet on fire, that's it. Like, they don't put that out. So every time I've set a jet on fire, I just fly away and let them burn to death. That's been my experience with the jets. So to be honest with you, I don't mind the trade-off because you don't really lose much. They're still 50 cows at the end of the day. They're not cannons. The 50 cows aren't terrible. I just don't really like them as much as I do cannons. But I do like putting tracers on them, though. I used to do ground targets, but now it's tracers. Now, the Japanese Saber, I can see why you might be worried about that one, because you only get, like, what, 2 missiles and, like, what is it, like 50-kilogram bomb or something?
Yeah, that's in comparison to the other ones. It's
like, that's why I was
50 cals, or do I go with cannons? But much better with cannons than with 50 cals.
You're better off going for cannons, I'll be honest with you. But that's why my secondary recommendation for Japan was the Ki 87. It's a very good plane. and it's got 30 millimeters and 20s. And the Japanese 30s are fucking awesome. They got this. They fire faster than 50 cals. They're high velocity, and they got the power, the explosive power of the mining shots. They slap.
Can't hold this one off for too
I'm
long.
gonna start SnowRunner now. So